Oh, okay. I don't know if I think I got a filter thing on and I don't like it. Okay, could be my lighting. Okay, hi, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. I am Tara, aka Spirit Mother, and I'd like to welcome you all back on YouTube. Spirit to Spirit teaches going within self, on TikTok 1974 Enlightened Soul, and I'm also live on my Facebook right now. If you're not familiar with my channel, I suggest or recommend that people go and read the description in order to get a better understanding of what I bring forward on my channel, especially like my lives. Okay, now, as some of you know, I talk about like stuff that goes on in the world, and I bring forward a lot of my own experiences and what have you. Okay, so to I talked earlier about something. Now, today what I'm talking about today is it's let's talk business. Okay, everybody, you like talking business, right? Okay, so I'll use my own experiences for a minute. I just got back from going to Easy Financial to see about getting a loan to like help pay something, and they couldn't do it because of my source of income. They told me to go to Money Mart, so I went to Money Mart, and let's just say that wasn't at Money Mart. It was a terrible experience because I won't get into it because I'm not going to shame her, but throwing her energy at me and started using her own, like talking about her personal stuff, because she was fine, but until I told her that I was on assistance, and then she started micking off about people on assistance. The government don't lend money to people on assistance or what have you. So there's a stipulation there. Well, let's see. Okay, so people know what Money Mart is, right? Okay, people go and they get payday loans or what have you, right? So they say that the government won't uh, allow somebody on a disability or assistance to get a loan there or what have you. They said it's a policy or something. So I told you, Spirit directs me to where I need to go when I need to be there. So I decided, we all talk, like, just talk about like businesses being registered with the Better Business Bureau. Okay. So see, the thing is, a lot of people, they believe that banks, these money marts, and these loan places, even McDonald's and stuff like that, is recognized by the Better Business Bureau. Right? So, you go down a rabbit hole, right? So I got home and I decided that I was going to look into it. So I'll use the one that I have right now. I looked into BMO Bank, Bank of Montreal, into the Better Business Bureau. Okay, they're reputable. We looked into Scotiabank. I looked into Money Mart. I looked into McDonald's, and I looked into Winners, being registered with the Better Business Bureau. And I didn't quite know what not BBB accredited meant. So I looked up the meaning of that. I'm live. Oh, shit. Excuse me 1 minute. I looked up that meaning. Here we go. Oh, it did come up. Excuse me one sec. Didn't come up on my phone. Okay, please bear with me. So what does it mean to not be accredited by the Better Business Bureau? Well, it means that a business is not recognized by the Better Business Bureau. Such businesses aren't allowed to use the Better Business Bureau seal on their marketing materials, unlike businesses that are BB or Better Business Bureau accredited. The good news is, though, is that there are other ways to build trust and credibility with customers. Okay, tools, there's referrals, what have you. Okay, so people would probably assume that your banks would be a recognized Better Business Bureau, right? 555 just says I look down. Well, let's see. Business profile, BMO, Bank of Montreal, not BBB accredited. BB rating and accreditation, F. Believe me? There. One sec. Right there. So it's already starting. Okay, that's BMO. So oh yeah, it's going to try to shut me down now. Yeah. You know, it's a part of, every time I get on, stuff like this happens. To the matrix and the systems, you're crooked. You would think that a bank would be. Okay, so what's this one? That is Better Business Bureau, Money Mark, not BBB accredited. Right there. What? Reason why I'm bringing this to people's attention is people go and you get loans from the bank, and are they not loan sharks? Seriously. Now let's go. I know somebody who has my bank. I did my bank. So that was Money Mart. Oh, and I did BMO Bank. Oh, let me show you on here again. Okay. Now, next one. Scotiabank. Not approved. Not accredited. Even says it right there for the rating. A lot of people say about the banks and stuff like that. Let's go. Now, your Winners World AFN. Well, it's accredited. And they say about like, these things being such good places. So like, why are they not part of the Better Business Bureau? Somebody just wrote, I'm sending you to the CRA. Okay. So let's see. Well, I don't know what the CRA is, but you do what you will. What are you sending me there for? I'm going to check what that is. Well, send me to the Credit Canada Revenue Agency. Can I take something like, you know, what? Because I'm exposing, corruption within the system. Because are they not all affiliated with it? McDonald's is another one that's not accredited by the Better Business Bureau. So let's see. People entrust their money into banks that are not accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Somebody just threatened to like send me to the CRA. What? Like I said, because I said about the banking system, instead of telling like somebody that you're going to send them to the CRA, like shouldn't you be looking into your fucking banking shit? That's business. You do work, you do go get these credit cards, you do go get these loans, you do entrust these places with your money. When an up and up business be registered with the Better Business Bureau. It's a part, the loan sharks. The government's the same way. You know, CRA, okay, you owe them money. They want it right like that, pretty much, and they'll charge you interest. But see, if they owe you money, they make you wait, and they don't give you interest. That's good business for them, right? See, people entrust themselves because they trust these systems. They glorify a banking system. They glorify going and getting your credit. They like to play on words. So, play back. Credit means to create debt. Look at the word. Look at that word. And they cause fear. Do you not know that that's what a loan shark does? You don't pay the money back. They will take everything from you. And it's not because I'm pissed off because I couldn't get a loan, because I didn't figure I was going to get one anyways. But, you know, I had somebody else like say that they had been going to this bank pretty much since it opened. It was supposed to be the credit union. They were supposed to be good people, but they never were. Even banks and stuff, we've been getting help and everything like that, and now they can't get help. See, you're paying, if you look at it, okay, you get a credit card, you're paying what, 19 to 29% interest on a credit card for most credit cards. Does a loan shark not charge you interest? You know, if you get a loan from a family member or a friend, do they charge interest? No. They just want the money back that they lent you, and they say, "Oh, well, they incur this." And seriously, you guys, seriously. And I know when they try to cut my algorithms off, I know they're pissed off. But see, these are things that people don't realize because these banks are all over the place. Almost every fucking corner there's a bank. But if you got the credit, it's okay. We don't care. We got the credit, but you're living off other people's money. You're crediting against other people's money because the bank actually has fuck all. And then your government and all these other things, they're creating money. So I really don't care if people like me for bringing this forward. Everybody says they want the truth about things, but they don't want the truth because they want to continue to live blindly and think, well, how is that right? How can they do this to us? Well, they can because they get away with it. Okay. CIBC, Better Business Bureau. Business profile. Another bank. Seriously, that's three banks. That's the most intense one. Let's try TD. TD Bank, Better Business Bureau. Another one. Not connected to the Better Business Bureau. But see, the thing is now I'm wondering because I did the thing for the creator agent or what have you. But I don't need them because I don't need followers and I don't want your money. Because that's not what I come in for. You go on these other TikTok channels and all the fear-based shit. You just you eat it up. I'm not throwing shit at you because I understand. McDonald's, Better Business Bureau. McDonald's McDonald's Restaurants of Canada Limited, not accredited. And 111 at the bottom of that. No wonder people are feeling afraid to speak up. This is the thing. You block me, and do you think I don't know what you're trying to do? Seriously. say about others going down the rabbit hole. People are looking into the child trafficking and things like that, and that's happening, but people turn a blind eye. Well, that's not happening. You're fucking right, it's happening. In that part of it, yes. He's a big one. He lives off credit. So would he want this to be exposed? Probably not, because like I said earlier, he's probably the leader of it all. The wolf in sheep's clothing. But in his case, the dragon in human attire. See, he'll bring stuff to me to bring forward. But he won't do it himself. And then he calls me an activist. That I have activist fatigue. I've not been part of any activist thing. Do I say how I feel? Do I say my opinion? Do I say what I find out? Do I ask the questions? You're fucking right, I do. Irving Oil, Better Business Bureau. Let's check it out. This business is not BBB accredited. You really didn't like that, did you? I just got, fuck you up. Wouldn't be the first time, right? That's that part of, the other ones were failures. This is in our register. So right now, it's not even letting me go back or nothing. And I feel that burning in my belly. Feels good. キリトタリエスルドエシュキマサレタイノコタエスキトエレトデア. So you entrust everything in these people, corporations. I'm telling you, this woman, she's at Money March, she started saying about people on assistance, and then she started talking about addictions. Originally, I was going to come in here and talk about addictions, but I guess Spirit brought me to this. See, I can feel him. But, you'll keep going and getting loans, won't you? Because what are you doing, getting a loan against me, huh? That's stupid. Is that why you won't let me go? Is that why you keep saying? How many people are getting loans against me? Hmm? Because I know it's a lie. You wonder why people want to crash systems because they know the truth. But then they would be considered terrorists. But the true terrorists are the ones running your systems. They're the true terrorists. It's not about being famous, but a lot of people, they keep living on credit. And, I believe that the biggest majority of them know what's going on. Say it's a big show, right? Big show and the pawns, and I can feel what you're doing, trying to do to my head. Ito totally salitaan. You think I don't know that I'm in the Dragon's Den? You think I don't know that I'm in enemy territory? I already had somebody tell me that, where I live, that's where the devil lives. You're fucking right. And I know when he brings it, when he sends in, because it's all part of him, because he's the Matrix. It's the part, you almost feel like you'd rather be poor and move on to someone else's bills. It's sad part. What you say about it, do you mean, are you just saying it? Now I know why he doesn't want to help me, because he wouldn't be able to live off me anymore. Which is pretty sad for him. They say about karma is a bitch. Karma is a bitch and the system is an asshole. Oh, I'm not sad. I just feel sorry because in order to be happy, you have to try to make everybody else miserable. You don't go forward with hate. I have love. It's that heart with attitude. And there's many of us out there. See, do you think I don't know that you know what my blood type is? I've been watching the stuff. Why do you think that taking your blood work? Why do you think every time you go to the hospital or to the doctor, they take your blood work? Seriously. You say it's because they're doing their testing. Oh, yeah, they're fucking testing all right. They see certain things within your blood, yeah. It's because they're looking for that blood of Christ. You know, a lot of people say that, oh, negative people are not from this world. Negative blood types are not from this world. Lots of studies have been done on it by scientists. Oh, I do choose what I focus on. And I already know what I see. And it's beautiful. See, I may come on here and bring things forward, but I see a lot of it. And I just observe, you know, it's that part of observing both sides or all aspects of it. You know, hey, I didn't learn these languages anywhere. It's the part of the remembering. Told you, my channel is spirit to spirit. So if you're taking offense or it's irritating you or giving you any sort of reaction, that's because it's that part of your spirit. And if you get angry with me, well, you know, it's that part of your spirit that's pissed off. See, the legitimate companies, the businesses, being on the up and up and registered with the Better Business Bureau. And the ones that are not in the up and up, there was a business that I worked for doing collections. Things weren't making sense. And then like 2, 3 months later or something like that, I ended up, my doctor put me off because of the the environment was making me sick. There was something in the air that was making me sick. And 3 months later, the police went in and raided the place and shut it down. They weren't registered with the Better Business Bureau. See, the little people, you got to be registered, right? If you're not registered a lot of time, you know they'll shut you down, right? But these franchises, you see, Michaels are winners. Okay? Winners is in the up and up. They're registered with the Better Business Bureau. But banks and places to get loans and fast food joints, not registered. Irving Oil, not registered. But you're paying them up the yin yang, right? It's a part of fucking you from behind, right? Get him up the ass. Do the chimney, man. Hey, we'll show you the front door. We'll keep everything here in the front door. But we won't tell you the rest. That's why I say to Trump, you're saying about all this stuff of going and taking it all down. Well, nice for you if it's good that you're 13-year Canadian generation. It's nice for you. But we're not talking about it like I'm gonna go. Like Canada is what, 153 years old, and you're 13 years generation. Hmm. Well, if Canada is only said to be 153 years old, or between 153 and 160 years old, or what have you, how have you been a 13-year generation Canadian? It, it wasn't Canada. It's a legitimate question. Please, like, tell me. See, it's about being tricked, trickery. I already had my disability taken from me, and hey, I ended up on disability because the province failed to like the province failed to salt the road that I had my accident on, even though they were told that the road needed salted by another employee that went back to reload to go back out and finish the job. But was told not to. Hey, um, I have to say, where's the standard of care? There's no standard of care because they didn't care about you. People feel yeah, you're working for the man, you're working for the business, and women and other men that are realizing, we call it feminist, and people think that, oh well, the feminists has all to do with women, but it's not, because men are supporting their wives and girlfriends and mothers and grandmothers and daughters and nieces and aunts. It's people are standing up now, and the system don't like it through, so it throws in a lot of stuff to cause more stress and anxiety on the people. They get rid of small businesses and leave their buddies' businesses Bureau, but not even registered with the Better Business Bureau, which they say that you have to be registered with the Better Business Bureau. You have to go through all this hoopty law with the government in order to get a business running. You have to have the registration and all that. But you don't look at that within your banks and stuff like that. I did just show like four or five banks that are not registered with the Better Business Bureau. Irving Oil is not registered with the Better Business Bureau. And, the Matrix decided to shut down my tablet so that I couldn't show more. Like, seriously, what are you afraid of? If you're in the up and up, if you're really on the up and legitimate, why are you blocking it? Seriously, why are you blocking it? And, why are you not practicing what you preach, telling the little people they got to be registered with the Better Business Bureau? But you guys, you don't have to be, right? Wrong. They say what's good for one should be good for them all, but, what makes your business any better? Oh, right. Because it's the corrupt side of things that causes fear within people, takes their actual money from them so that they have to go to you groveling to lend them money that's you don't even have. Not even registered. Seriously. There's your business. So to the one that said that they're woke, were you woke to this? Or are you just looking at what's in your screen? If they show it there, that's true. That's gospel, right? They show you a book, that's gospel, right? I know that God's worst spirit, creator, what have you, sends me places when people need me for guidance and sends me to these corrupt businesses. And there's a lot of, has to do with food and financial money. So, I will continue. I will shop at Winners because I know they're on the up and up. But see, the government will even, if you get the government money, they'll tell you have to have a bank account. Because unless you have a bank account, you really can't take your checks anywhere through cash. Seriously, what's up with that? That makes no sense. I remember when you used to be able to get a check and go into the bank, and if you got a 44 on the timer, if you got a 30, if you got a third party check or what have you, well, all you had to do, if somebody gave you a check, all you had to do was go to the bank with take that check to the bank that was on the name of the check, not necessarily the address, but to one of those banks. You can't do that now. And when you do put a check in, what do? They hold it for, 7 to 10 days? So you don't get your money. They charge you shit piles of interest if you're late on payments, right? And then, like, you might get, if you put money in your bank account, you might get 1% interest on that money. Meanwhile, they're taking 19, 29 sometimes, and then you're going and And I had a financial advisor. I was in a meeting thing, part of a meeting with a financial advisor, and they said about it, like you never really get anything paid off because you're constantly paying on the interest. You gotta you you get locked in to interest for what, sometimes 5, 10 years, right? Paying on that interest the whole time, and then you got to go and renew it. So then you got to pay interest again. So it's that part of, I don't give a shit if you're woke. Are you awake? You know, you complain about money, say about having no money, say about having to rob Peter to pay Paul. You say that you got to get credit, and it's like, if they weren't stealing your money, you wouldn't have to go get that credit, would you? Because you'd actually have the money. For Donald Trump, are you going to give the money that, like, you swindled out of people? You do say that your allies, well, your allies would be the people that voted for you, right? So that's where you're going to get your money, the people that voted for you, even the fucking little people. But the people that really owe the money, reason why you don't go get it from them is because you're all in cahoots with each other. Let's point fingers at this person, keep them all fucking confused. Seriously. And then they say about people going and stealing food. People get charged for theft, for stealing food. It's happening because they can't afford food for their families. I said it before that you get some people that go out and they'll buy cat food or canned cat food or dog food and eat it. Meanwhile, these people you're going to get loans from, they're sitting at home eating, like going out, eating their caviar and drinking thousands, $2,000 for a bottle of champagne, going and laughing it up about the people. You're so fucking gullible. That's what they're saying about you. But what do I know? I don't have I don't have the financial degree. Why don't I have a financial degree? Because, you know, I'm not here to rip the people off. People should be taught how to manage their own finances, not have to go to somebody else so that they can backdoor them, right? I said it, this financial advisor, she said that she's there to, their nonprofit organization is there to show you how to get rid of your debt, but at the same time that they're telling you how to get rid of your debt, they're telling you how to get your credit back, to create more debt, right? Don't you see? Or are you woke? Not being rude. The difference between woke and awake. Being woke doesn't mean you're awake. Let's read this for you. Allow both terms sound and mean also the same thing. The truth is that being woke isn't like being awakened at all. The only similarity between the two is that you wake up, as terms imply. But getting woke is like waking up in a dream. So you're still in the dream, a dream within a dream. Anybody ever had one of those? I know I did. And I know somebody else who told me that it was really strange because it was like they were in a dream, but they were dreaming. Seriously, listen, observe. You think you are in control. You think you are aware of reality, but yet you are still in the dream simulation. Wokeness is still, I can't get that whole article. Wokeness is still a part of the illusion, but it is this illusion that can catapult into awakening. People like myself are here to wake you up. We're just like waking up in a dream. You eventually realize that you are still dreaming, yet you have become lucid, free. This is a path that this person followed for years. Like most liberals, I was extremely empathic. I wanted to change the world's circumstances. Oh, okay. Woke versus awake. Woke is more in the political. Awake is being awakened to. It's more of the like you have the self. You have self awareness, and you have spirit awareness. Self awareness is being aware of yourself and your feelings, your experiences, and what have you. Spirit awareness is being aware of everything. See it all. Woke versus awake, the gap is great. The gap between the woke and the awake is getting greater and greater, while the cost to stay awake is getting higher and higher. It's because if you're awake and you start speaking up, what do they do? They bully you. My ex-husband talks about the woke people. But I think he's still only woke. And if he's awake, he's playing dumb and hurting others along the way, right? Because he doesn't want people to be awake. You can be woke, but don't be awake. Because, that's that throws a boulder in things, right? The more aware of the differences between the word and the world, this person wrote, I became the more evident the distance between those who are woke and those who are awake becomes. The gap is growing greater because the two are going in opposite directions. They say about the opposite, the parallel, the worlds are splitting. Let me take a moment to define the two terms they're using and understand this meaning and as I am using them in the post. Woke. Those who are aware of activity, attentive to important facts and issues, especially issues of racial and social justice. They typically advocate for reconciliation by extra biblical and anti biblical means using the framework of ideologies such as critical theory and critical race theory. In this person's opinion, defeat the purpose of reconciliation by further dividing people by sectionally, or interconnected nature of social categorization such as race, class, and gender as they apply to a greater individual or group, regarded as creating overlapping and independent systems of discrimination and disadvantages. So, to that one that told me you're woke, who woke to that? But you're picking sides, right? Because you're not seeing the overall truth of it. You're still in the dream. Two quotes I recently read that sum up wokeness pretty well. Okay, this is this person. Wokeness is today's religion. Cancel culture is its segment. Wokeness is a graceless religion. It never forgives past missteps because they keep repeating the same thing. They keep you reliving. They keep you fighting with one another. Its mission is to kill, steal, and destroy. It wants destruction and not restoration. As you stand for biblical truth, wokeness will criticize you. I do a lot of that. I get criticized by people when I talk about my experiences. No, seriously, people, not being ignorant. I didn't learn this language anywhere. You're like spirits coming through me. So when people tell me to shut up or put your hand out there to throw fucking energy at me, to shut me up or hurt me, well, fuck yourself. Because you're only hurting yourself, and you think, oh, you're a saucy bitch, or you speaking like that for a woman. How do you know it's not my masculine speaking, defending the feminine? As you stand for biblical truth, wokeness, and will criticize you, demonize you, terrorize you, and someday soon criminalize you. My ex-husband here, he does that the way he talks to me. Like, you're woke, man. You talk about woke people, you're woke. Because you're doing all this to me. And other people are too. Strangers treat me a fuck of a lot better. And someone on here a little bit ago when I first started talking about the Better Business Bureau and the banks aren't registered with the Better Business Bureau. Oh, I'm contacting the CRA on you. What the fuck are they going to audit? Somebody who's been on disability? Are they going to audit the government for that? If they took my disability from me, well, it wouldn't be the first fucking time. They took it from me because I got money from a class action lawsuit because medical um, stuff destroyed my body, and I got money for pain and suffering, but they fucking took that from me because that's an income, and it was no fucking income at all. Goes on to say, but love keeps no record of wrongs. See, when I come on here and I explain or tell my experiences, I get frustrated. It's not because I'm holding it. It's because it never stopped. The pain never stopped. So if you're not learning anything from it, and you're still treating people like they're pieces of shit, dirt under your boot. They're not the fucking dirt under your boot. You're too busy listening to woke systems. And I'm not throwing shade on woke people either, because it's the systems that create that problem, because they keep you asleep. They keep you fighting. They keep you divided. My ex-husband says about common sense, but he's against Pierre Bouvier or what have you for common sense. He says it like seriously. Say about common sense, and you don't have no fucking common sense whatsoever. Because if you did, you wouldn't be treating me the way you do and talking about me and other people the way you do. And love, well, you're constantly throwing shit in my face, and this is a spirit to spirit. So if you're reacting to it, then I guess you're part of his spirit, hey? Not being ignorant, just being, honest. What everyone has been dishonest. But it's that part of coming out of being dishonest and being honest with yourself. And when you become honest with yourself, I'll tell you, Spirit's going to make you be fucking honest with everybody else too. Am I a bitch? Rough love. You fuck with my young. Love keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not dishonor others. I may throw shit at my ex-husband, but he's going to get back what he gives to me until he realizes. And it's not dishonoring him, because I see his potential. He just, it's easier to be woke, because then you're just in another dream. A dream within a dream within a dream. I'll use Charmed again. Listen, Lana. A lot of women watched that, and their husbands watched it with them. They had an episode there where Prue was in a dream world. She was asleep. She was in a dream within a dream. And the dream within the dream fucking her, killed her. Somebody had to wake her up. They say if you're in a dream and you fall off, like you fall off a cliff or off a building or something like that, and you hit bottom, they say you die. It's part of the matrix, right? Love does not dishonor others. Choose love, not hate. Reject cancel culture. That's what this person says. And now their take on being awake. And I can totally see this. I can relate to this. Because when you're awake, you see it. You see the parts where you're going from spirit, from walking in the physical world and walking in the spirit world. You start seeing it all. Awake. Those who are aware of the enemy's deception and use of those worldly ideologies to try to confuse biblical truth. Those who hold fast to sound doctrinal theory and see things through the lens of the biblical worldview, realizing God does not show partially, nor does God want the people to show partially. It says James 2:1, Acts, and also Acts 10:34-35, Romans 2:11, Galatians, Galatians 3:28, 1 Timothy 5:21, Proverbs 28:21. Those who are awake, in my opinion, are wide awake and well aware of the deception and want to stand up for the truth they know is the only way to true reconciliation. You try to shut me down all you want. That's people are on here and they're trying to point things out to you. People, I know other people, they're awake to it. But they don't say anything and they turn a blind eye. And then ones like myself, they want you to shut up because it stirs up the world. It stirs up things for them. How do you think the person that is truly awake feels? It's no fucking picnic. Even your loved ones will throw attacks at you, even though they know the big part of the truth. They'll still throw attacks at you because in some ways they're still part of that system. I know somebody who says, like, oh, well, I don't care. They gave me $250. Seriously? I have to ask how many people are being bribed and blackmailed. You don't know. To my ex-husband, I know you have a dark history, a dark past. I think it was born fucking yesterday. I seen it because it was my fucking nightmares. The woke want to right the wrongs of the world by their own means and with their own terms and conditions, while the awake know only God can right the wrongs, the heart, the truth. In fact, says he already did. And it has nothing to do with us and what we do or don't do, and everything to do with God and what God has already done on our behalf. See, God works through the people. Is it not said that God works through the people? So if God works through the people, and love comes from the heart. Wow, I just see 1 1 1 1 1 on the timer. You either see it or you don't. Ironically, the woke, in this person's opinion, are blind to biblical truths. I read the Bible when I was 12, but I didn't find God, source, creator, spirit through the Bible. I found through experience. It's that part of surrendering. And by fuck to get to that surrendering. I still go through it, and to get to that surrendering, it fucking hurts like a son of a bitch. See, it's all in how you find God, how you find your heart, how you find your truth. Because, like they say in here, true reconciliation comes from heart working past it, not continuing to keep fighting. Because the way they're doing it right now, no, like people aren't being heard. You're going to other people to solve problems that you need to solve with one another. Through spirit, spirit to spirit, heart to heart. Yung magkatotaya sa magkatayan, ito po ito ay, ito ko ay, kulaya sa kuyang tutoyan, ito kuya is sweet. They may be socially alert and aware, but they are spiritually asleep and desperately need to beware of the dangers of thinking like, looking like, and eventually being just like the world. Get angry. We start hating on different cultures, different religions, different sexual identities. Sexual identities, it's the two spirited aspect. But a lot of people don't understand that because it's the masculine and feminine working together. And in order to get the masculine and feminine working together in the world, the masculine and feminine have to be working together within yourself. It's the same as the right and the left. But when the people come together and talk, instead of putting in that middleman and saying, you're going to do the speaking for me, why don't you fucking speak for yourself? And help others who are unable to speak for themselves. Teach them how to learn how to speak for themselves. Empower each other. Become your own leader. That's what the teachings was about, becoming your own leader, being able to be sovereign. What affects you affects the person next to you. What affects that person affects you. But people don't, some people, like, people don't believe that. Seriously. Okay, I'll use a car accident. Somebody gets in a car accident. You may not have been the one affected by it, but if there's a car accident on the highway and they have to stop traffic, are you not affected by it? Person writes, I'm not here to judge motives or feelings or anything else for that matter. In fact, they welcome dialogue about the subject because they want to understand where people are. And that's what I've said myself. Tell your story. Express what you've experienced within the system, within the dream, within the dream, within the dream. Because I know that I can pretty much guarantee that most people have experienced ill from one of the systems. They divide the people, they don't connect. But what do I know? I'm just a girl and I have no university degree. Oh, wait, I do have my mediation, negotiation, conflict resolution. I do have my leadership and presentation and development, and I do have common sense, and I do look at reason. I look at logic. I have an analytical mind, but I don't overthink everything. Most of the time, I have not a thought in my head. Because when you remove all that, then you remove the mind control, and you look at things from a different perspective. Instead of seeing your neighbor as your enemy, it's a system that creates neighbors to be enemies. Because I hear people saying and talking about somebody down the road, and they'll say, "Oh, well, you know, the old black guy down the road, or the Korean person down the road." Do you ever say, "Oh, that white person down the road"? No, you just say that woman or man down the road, right? Seriously, it's all good business for them. Because if they keep people rubbing Peter to pay Paul and keep you thinking that you need that middleman to find the kingdom of God, as people call it, if you can't find it in yourself, how the fuck you could find it in there? They wrote, I'm not here motives or feelings or anything else for that matter. In fact, they write, They welcome the dialogue about this subject because they want to understand where people are and be able to share in more detail the journey they've been on in the past few months to understand it all as God wants them to through the filter of God's word and the standard of God's truth. See, I watched a guy, and he is right. Well, where does the word come from? It comes out of your mouth, right? Somebody, a human, a person wrote the book, right? So it'll come out of another person's mouth, right? It's a channel, and you can get off my fucking head too. See, I don't come up and preach Bible or anything like that because it's a guide. I'm not downplaying it. I'm not like shooting the Bible down because the Bible has helped many people come out of the pits of hell. But a lot of what they preach in church is about violence. It's like, are you ever going to fucking get over it in a healthy way where everybody works together and communicates instead of putting a middleman in front of you to do your bidding and communicating for you? Pretty sure God didn't tell you to have somebody else do your communicating for you. Or, even if you're an atheist, does your heart want somebody else to do the talking for you? Does your spirit want somebody else to do the talking for you? Where the fuck do you think your life comes? Where do you think life comes from? You got a voice. Somebody in my family said that like they feel like they can't talk, They feel like their voice is being shut down. Well, if your voice is being shut down, I guess you better start fucking using it. Or ask yourself, why is your voice being shut down? Or why are you shutting your voice down? What are you afraid of? The same person, shit, man, would fucking fight. But to stand up now, hey, a lot of it is the feminine energy is rising. And it's the feminine energy that's doing a lot of the speaking up because it's starting to work with together with the masculine because the masculine energy is said to be the protector. Is it not? You say the man is the protector. Well, I'll tell you, I'm like, I see some people, they look like a man, but they don't behave like one. They don't behave like what a man should be like. They bully others. They talk down to others. They degrade others. Do I say stuff about my ex-husband? You're fucking right, I do. But it's nothing that I don't say to his face. Only God sees our heart. So our heart sees the heart. That's what I say. I feel people's heart. And that's probably why a lot of people don't want to be around me. Because it's something they don't want to admit to. It's stuff they don't want to admit to themselves. So they start insulting me and hollering at me or pushing me away. But they say it's me. It's not me. Only God sees our hearts. Billy Carson says that we're gods. It says in the Bible what Yeshua or Jesus, however you perceive, says that we are gods. We are God. But, there's ones that, you want to rip me apart here. It makes you feel better. If it gets you through every day, would you like my help? I already had entities trying to use my own fucking hand to rip my heart out, rip my rib apart, twist my head off, gouge my fucking eyes out. You weren't there that night. They'll tell people, oh, you're just psychotic, you're delusional. Fuck yeah, right. And you're just programmed. And I'm not being sarcastic either. I trust God to reveal truth, even where lies are being spewed. SPEWED. I trust God. I trust God's Holy Spirit to convict our hearts so we can right our wrongs by being right with God. It's the part, don't you got to get right with yourself? Spirit awareness, being aware of self, being aware of spirit, because spirit awareness is everything. And is it not said that God is everything and everyone? Don't like what I had to say? You might want to read your Bible a little more thoroughly and not just one version of it. Because it's all in different versions, they word it differently, right? So was that not man? Because God only did say one thing, right? They write, I am here to stand up for God's truth, the only truth, and nothing but the truth. You go into court, like the hypocrites will say about, you got to swear in the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. But yet, what do they have at the front? They have the picture of the queen. And well, now they might have to change that to the king, right? Are you not swearing? Like you're swearing under oath to God, but they have a figure, an idol, someone they say, oh, well, when they walk by, you must bow to them because if you don't, it's disrespectful. They glorify money. They live in big fancy castles and they have more than one and you're the ones fucking paying for it. There's your truth. But you still bow to them because they got money, right? stealing it from you. You idolize someone. And that's the part of the woke. You idolize Trump as being God, that he's your savior. And he's fucking he's rich as dirt, is he not? I guess you don't know the concept, do you? And it's not to insult you. I feel sorry for people who are still idolizing others and not realizing that you are your fucking savior. And taking that kind of stand not only requires boldly saying there is a right and a wrong way. This is somebody else. It also requires walking in that way by resisting the wrong, with least we state thinking the wrong way is the right way. Well, I'll be honest, some people go the wrong way before they find the right way. It's called the lost souls. Lost their way home, lost their way back to the heart, to love, to God, source, to spirit, self. It's not about preaching. It's understanding the message. It's not about being rich as dirt and standing up at a podium and say, glorify me. Because didn't Yeshua, Jesus, say about being humble? Well, Trump ain't fucking humble. Trump will call you a fucking idiot. He'll say people are idiots. So if you worship him or you worship someone else outside of yourself, then you're doing yourself a disservice. You like me? Well, you know, love me and like me, loathe me. I don't care. Because I had to realize all this. And I'm still doing the deep inner work. Spirit brings things to me. Spirit puts me in places to show truth. And I just told you that, these banks you go to get loans are not even registered with the Better Business Bureau, but your small business has to be, or it's not legit, right? Are you a bot? Now I understand what bot means. The gap is growing greater because the woke are growing more intolerant of anything contrary to their way of thinking. And the awake are growing more resistant to anything contrary to God's way of living. It's like finding the balance, not picking sides, not going from one to the other, but seeing both sides and realizing that it's all needed in one way, shape, or form, but in moderation and the appropriate way. Not that's hurting people or discriminating or glorifying and idolizing. It's being able to step back and hear people's hearts, see people's hearts, feel people's hearts. Because all I see are the systems putting everybody against one another. And I don't go to a doctor. Last time I went to the doctor, I went to the doctor just to see if he would prescribe CBD for me because it's more of a it's more natural opposed to a pill to help, when I'm having that anxiety or I sit with it a lot. They took away the natural stuff and brought in synthetic stuff and then tells you that the natural stuff, that's witchcraft. Well, fuck, it's witchcraft. The witchcraft is a synthetic, systematic bullshit. But people bow to it because they say it works. Well, how do you know that the other stuff doesn't work? What? Because somebody tells you that it doesn't, that has a fucking degree, that makes a profit off of your sickness and illness? Don't want to be in my channel because I raised my voice? Then get the fuck out. Seriously, go back out the way you came in. I didn't tell you to come in. I didn't ask you to come in. Leave that spot for somebody who actually cares and understands. Not someone who wants to come in and throw shit at people because they don't see things or because they see things that you don't want to see or can't see because you're still blinded by the fucking systematic bullshit. The dogma, the indoctrination, indoctrinating you. I know because my ex-husband's still part of it. Oh, I want to get off my medication, but yet you keep running back to the fucking pharmacy, right? Up on a few frequencies. Get the fuck out and do the walk. Feel your heart. Spend some time with yourself, get to know yourself and your own truth. Instead of pointing fingers at somebody else because, being honest or being just like them, but, you're hypocritical because, am I still hypocritical? Sometimes, but I catch myself. At least I can be honest about it. And judgment comes with using your own judgment of who to trust and who not to trust, who to be around and not be around. Seriously. People call me stupid and fucking idiot. Shake your head. You might connect some freaking wiring that got loose or got cut off or got programmed. It's called a fucking virus. And the virus is, the programming. Why do you think they have so many coders? Didn't like that. Well, it just moved in there. That's why they produce these games. You know, how many you have kids and they're playing the games, and to get them away from it, it's like fucking hell breaks loose. They're playing violent games that are rated 18 or something like that, and you got your 13-year-old behind a screen in their bedroom with their door closed talking to people on the other end, right? I've seen the damage that someone in my family did because of being like because of those games. You take them away, and then you see the difference for the better. But what, you don't like the better, so you give the fucking game back, and then you use the excuse, oh well, I want him to fit in. Joe Blow, Dancy Drew down the road has the fucking game. How's that working out for this family? How's it working out for you? My son was younger. My youngest son was younger. He would watch Power Rangers. And then he'd start getting violent, so I took it from him. And he never did get it back. So, he's an adult and he watches it. Well, that's up to him. Violent games, stuff like that. Most of the games he had was fucking cartoons. Oh, what was it? Zelda, or some of those wrestling fighting in those wrestling games or what have you. I played those. I wasn't killing anybody. I was wrestling. Shit, man, with my son, I get fucking blisters on my hands because you turn around. I didn't even have a fucking clue how to play the game. I was just like, okay. But he did. He bit my nose one time because I took the game from him and he got angry. And he charged at me and jumped up on me. He said, I'll bite you. And I was just like, yeah, you bite me, you better be prepared for what's going to happen. So what to do? He bit me on the fucking nose. So I got him upstairs and punked his ass in the chair. You want to say that's abuse? Well, it was fucking abuse for him biting my nose. It was actually an assault. And it wasn't an assault or abuse with me, because it's not like I threw him across the room. I set his ass in a fucking chair and told him, now you sit there and don't you get up till I tell you you can. And that was because I was taking the game from him. Actually, I wasn't taking the game from him. I was telling him it was time to turn the game off because it was time for supper. But I'd be classed as, oh, that's abusive. That's bad behavior. Bad behavior is people thinking, oh, well, it might be rated 18, but I'll still give it to my 13-year-old because, their friend down the road has it. I'm going to say it. It's on you, not the game manufacturer, not the people down the road. The violence becomes on you because you give it to them, knowing full fucking well what happens. Let them punch a hole in the door or rip the fucking door right off its hinges or break the door in half, right? You're putting them in front of a machine, and then you're bitching about them being in front of the machine, which you're the one that fucking put them there to begin with. You're going in these machines because, half the time they're trying to get away from real life because they don't know how to fucking deal with it. You see 7-year-olds. You even see 3-year-olds carrying around fucking phones. Take the phone from them, give them some color pencils or crayons or coloring books. And something where they can put their creativity to their own creativity instead of buying somebody else's that's fucking programming your children. It's the same as the systems that you scream and bitch about. If you're taking offense to this, well, that's on you, not me. It's okay for other people to say it, but God forbid I do, right? Well, when it's the God forbid, fuck the God forbid, because God will forbid it. People who don't want to look at the truth of it all, forbid it. I know, because I was one of those people. That's the part of being able to admit to it. That's the hardest. It says here, and I'm reading what someone says because, there's a lot of good reference within the biblical text, but it's still coming from me. It's coming from the heart. It's coming from hate. It's coming from love. It's coming from hate. And hate is keeping everybody fighting. I'm preaching about it and glorifying it instead of, realizing that we are doing it to ourselves because we're relying on a system. Say about the book and the humbleness and stuff like that, but that you go and glorify a fucking rich person. I just heard somebody say about righteous or holier than thou. No, I don't believe myself to be holier than thou. And as far as righteous actually means right choices. And everybody's right choice is something that only they can discern. It's that part of you say we have free will. Well, it's free will until you invade on somebody else's free will. You take that person's free will from them, like your government's doing, like these other people are doing. Free will to make choices, your choices. Free will to speak up for yourself and teach others how to speak up for themselves. I said it earlier today. What would they do if everybody went into these voting polls and they scratched off every candidate and wrote their own name? Because you've got no control over other people. You have control over yourself. You want to try to control other people. But when you do that, you're going into you're affecting their free will. You're taking their free will from them. It's the same as when people do spells. You're taking people's free will from them. Put a love spell on yourself so that you can find love for yourself instead of putting a love spell to have somebody else fall in love with you. Because if it's a spell, are they really falling in love with you? Or is it the spell that caused that to happen? I'd rather have real, true, genuine love than the love that was through the spell. It wasn't real. saying here, Jesus, I say Yeshua. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me. Now, what did he mean by that? Seriously, people think that you have to go through him, which Christ is the heart, the consciousness, the knowing, the unknown. But a lot of like other people will say, well, that's blasphemy. No, it's not. What? Because you say it's not true? Because you interpret it differently than I do? So mine's blasphemy and yours is fucking truth? Seriously. True. The heart. I don't, it's like, I have to ask who gave birth to Jesus? The mother, right? Birth through the womb. I want to see a man push a baby through your penis. Please. Anybody see that stingray that was at a zoo? It was the one stingray in with a bunch of sharks, but it wasn't impregnated by a shark. It's a rare occurrence, but it impregnated itself. Mary's uh, Jesus's uh, Jesus's grandmother was a virgin birth. Horus was a virgin birth, and then there was a Hindu or another culture that was a virgin birth. See, did they put that in there? It's rare occurrences, but it's happened. Some amphibians can do it. Amphibians can actually change their sex. Seriously. See, be like instead of be like yeah, live by the heart, live by truth. Love the neighbor, help the neighbor. Doesn't say anything in there about interfere with the neighbor. There's a lot of controversy about abortions, same-sex marriages, gender, and many other things. Cultures, religions. But it says in the criminal code, under the constitutional, freedom of religion, freedom of speech. Any of you have the criminal code? I just gotta look for marker. Yeah. You're fighting over this, and your government takes all these rights from you, but it's in the criminal code. So are they not going against the criminal code to keep you fighting? Yeah, I got that one. Oh, here it is. Here, right here. Everybody likes to talk about the Constitution. Fundamental freedoms, Constitutional Act, 1982, Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Fundamental freedoms. Everyone has the following fundamental freedoms: freedom of conscience and religion. But people want to tell people that you have to believe this way or you're not part of society. If you're not with us, you're against us. But the fundamental freedoms, that's the first one right there. Freedom of thought, belief, opinion, expression, including freedom of the press and other media of communication. But, you know, Canadians, they can't share news. Free media, like freedom media, we get censored on our media. We're told how we have to behave, or we get blocked, or we get taken off. They say about the rules and stuff like that. But, wouldn't this here constitute an override? I seen a thing today that it was like on Twitter, was supposed to be about freedom of speech, be able to speak up, but they're saying that it's basically been more over to Trump. I thought you were picking sides, man. I thought you were about freedom of speech. It's not about freaking throwing shit at each other, being assholes to each other, or bitches. I hear some women, it's like, oh, me and my bitches. And they don't use it in a term of protect our young, they use it in a term of gangster. Don't like what I said? Well, if you're going to leave the room, well, I guess you're going to leave the room. If I washed you well, I never had you to begin with. Media of communication, other media of communication. So they censor you on Facebook, they censor you on TikTok, YouTube, Telegram. You were supposed to be able to do certain things. Rumble. Yeah, I think I said Facebook, Twitter. If it's not part of their agenda and who they look to, so it's not for the public. So have it so that, oh, it's only for certain individuals if they agree with us. Sound like my ex-husband. Okay. Are you sure it's not his channel? I'm sure he's not censoring because he sort of likes to censor me. And I'm talking about the spirit aspect of my ex-husband. Freedom of peaceful assembly. But see, peaceful assemblies always got shut down, and non-peaceful assemblies got left going. Seriously. Is that not what's taking place? What they say is supposedly taking place in Montreal? It's not very peaceful there. From, what your news is showing you. So they tried saying that the media made it like the trucker rally or what have you wasn't a peaceful protest. But yet the ones that were there said about it being peaceful. And then, because media wants certain individuals want to make a name for themselves, they pay actors to go in and stir up shit, right? They said about people having Nazi signs or what have you. Was it because they were Nazis, or were they exposing the truth of the system being Nazi? I'm allowed to ask questions. Seriously. What, like censoring me? Trying to. I just heard we'll fuck you up. You already did. And you left me for dead. More than once, too. Tried to kill me by my own hand, right? That's what happens. Tried to make me feel like everybody would be better off without me. You were hoping that I would go so that I wouldn't help people realize what the systems are really about and doing. It's not the people that don't want change. It's the systems that don't want. And that's what my ex-husband, the spirit of my ex-husband, was telling me today. Because if people didn't want change, we wouldn't be seeing what's going on in the world going on. And the ones that don't want to change are the ones that are trying to make everybody believe that it's people causing the disruption, but it's actually your system leaders. Because they don't like losing control. So they have to produce an aggression to create fear and anxiety in people to say, oh, well, I better go again. So you go from awake to woke. And that's why he was saying in there about it going back and forth. So freedom of peaceful assembly. Well, he shut down the peaceful assembly. He shut down, was it said that they were coming in and taking people's foods, freezing their bank accounts. He's still talking about that in Parliament. When you have a leader, they're not supposed to involve themselves in the protests. They're supposed to be in the back and listening to both sides of it so that they can come to a resolution, a reconciliation. Why would they do that? What what's happening is profitable for them, but not for you, right? Because your loved ones are getting killed, they're dying, they're being stoned, ridiculed. It doesn't have to be a physical stoning. When tell me I'm blasphemy, well, no more than you, right? I had my sister tell me one time when things would happen, you look psychotic. Well, that's a spirit, right? Yeah, it's true. No more psychotic than the person you vote for. I see myself in front of the camera speaking up, but I see your prime minister hiding away during a peaceful protest and then shutting it down and freezing people's money, affecting their livelihood when they're actually supposed to be the ones solving the fucking problem or so said problem. That part of somebody being in that situation that's for the people and not for their crony buddies and fucking pocketbooks because they want to get into a position where they can hide their fucking dirty deeds, right? Dirty deeds, done deeds. Freedom of association. See, the thing is, a lot of people will criticize others. Some of you just say, me, well, you criticize Trump for who he hangs around with. Right, or am I just saying that, he does it himself? Just, okay, say you're around a criminal, just because you're around a criminal doesn't make you one, right? But they'll flash you as one. See, through Trump and Trudeau, they have a record of it. And people will say Pierre Poilievre, or however you pronounce his last name, he has his hand in pots. But I care for people because what they put their hands in, that will be seen. And when it comes out and it's seen, hang on. Because there's going to be a lot of disbelief. They're going to say, oh, well, that's propaganda. misinformation. We're only doing it now. That's a conspiracy theory, but didn't warn people back before Queen Elizabeth died. Didn't they say that Queen Elizabeth was said to be going to die? Said that it was going to be in October of that year. But she died that September. And I had somebody say, tell me that the person they said, well, it wasn't October, was it? Seriously, you fucking split hairs with that. It was still predicted that within that time frame that the queen was going to die. What did they do? Take her out of the show? Hey, look around. Is she out of the show or is she just another character? Because I see that. Oh, you don't like that. I feel that. Seriously, you look around and you see people, and they were said to have died. My ex-husband, okay, we were somewhere one day. We were sitting in a parking lot. And my ex-husband really had to take a few looks and shake his head because he could have swore that it was his best friend that had just walked by. Go watch the Truman Show. They killed off his father. But then he come back as a sub walking. So he ran up to this man and he said, "You're my dad." Like, "Dad, Dad." Do people think that I don't recognize or see what, the changes? That I don't see when people look different, but they're said to be the same person? It's that other part. My ex-husband, he told me that he has a double, or I had it, the doppelganger. You probably have fucking many doppelgangers. That's why your attitude and your fucking looks change. You even get taller, right? I don't know that. I stand next to you sometimes and you're just as fucking tall as me. And then other times I stand next to you and you're like, it's like you're fucking almost a foot tall. I actually seen my oldest son grow, like the size of him grow just right before me. I seen my youngest son, the looks aren't even the same. And people say, "Oh, you're just delusional, you're psychotic." And once again, you shut things down. You even said, here, the maximum duration of somebody being in that part of the government is 5 years. So it's like, you're out, next one, got to vote the next one in. Like, are they even supposed to be able to try to get in again? Or is that the end of, or is that supposed to be the full end of their term? Time to check the next one. Because, if they didn't do good in the first one, what makes you think they're going to do good in the next one? They show their true colors. You put things out there because people won't go looking. And then the ones that do go looking, you try to turn everybody on them. Way. If I don't talk to people why I'm doing this, they'll take offense to it. If People want to have a debate, go to the channels where people are debating. I'm not here to debate anything. I'm here saying what I've looked into, what I've experienced. I'm not saying that your opinion doesn't matter. What I bring forward, it's up to you to go, if you want to go look and see if it's right. Another part of the criminal code, equal rights. You're supposed to have equal rights, right? But I don't see where it's any. I don't see where it's equal. Equal rights would be kind of like each place gets the same amount. It's the same. And like they say for women in jobs that men do or something like that, they say, oh, well, the women's got to get less money because they can't do what the man's doing. What? Seriously? They can't do what the man's doing? Then how the fuck to get the job? Aren't they in there doing it? Seriously? A little hypocritical, ain't it? Equal rights. Equal before and under law and equal protection and benefit of law. People aren't getting that. Seriously. Criminals run free and innocent people who even people who just did slightly something, they're the ones suffering. They're the ones in jail, right? Every individual is equal before and under the law and has the right to the equal protection and equal benefit of the law without discrimination, and in particular without discrimination based on race, national or ethnic origin, color, religion, sex, age, or mental or physical disability, and that's been held against everybody. So it's not the people in violation of the law. It's the ones who say they are the law. They are being discriminated. People are screaming about colored people, indigenous people, gay people, elderly people, young people, mentally disabled people, or people that suffer from mental health issues because of the system. I can tell you right now, almost every one of these laws in here, it's not so much the people itself that break it. It's the ones that were put in place to enforce things, but they abuse their power because it didn't apply to them. Right? The ones who wrote it, they had the loophole so they could get through it. The little People can't. They say the official language in Canada was English. No, it wasn't. It wasn't English at all. Because English was never the original language of anything. For people that don't like me saying that, it's not throwing shade on you. I'm speaking English right now, am I not? And you're trying to conform everybody to speaking English because it has a low vibration. It's more in a single monotone. Whereas, English has maybe one, two monotones. Either it's high or it's low or it's steady. It doesn't have a sound steady. But see, then they still put in synthesizers and manipulate the voices, right? 222 monotone. It's that part, try to shut my voice down. 그렇게요. 소뚜뚜리에 sarà stato tutorial. Elemento gruppo creato vostetta dalle tutoria alla tutorial. The thing is, people think I'm talking to them, but it's actually the spirit to spirit, and those spirits know who I'm talking to, or who my spirit is talking to. That's the awake. The gap will only grow greater as the hour grows later. The longer we tolerate the tyranny from those buying into the wake mentality, the longer we will be bullied into thinking we're getting it wrong. When ironically, in the woke's blind eyes, we will never ever get it right. Because in their opinion, getting it right is never ever achievable. I had him saying about my ex-husband saying about change. So I say, like, he's still on board. He'll bring things to me to bring it to the people. But won't do it himself. But then he'll talk shit about people like myself who come forward and say, oh, well, you just want to start a fight to go to your podcast. Seriously, dude? You don't do that? Like, seriously, man? How many times are you going to fucking switch positions in the run of a day? What, you don't remember? Well, reason. Why don't you remember? Let's see. Because what version are you this time? Which, like, which one of your doppelgangers decided to step in? Some say, some of your doppelgangers say, oh, they want to kill me, want to bury me. But then others say, oh, I love you, and kiss me on the forehead or like hug me. And seriously, I'm the psychotic one. I'm the one that needs a psychiatric unit. No, you need to pick a night. You need to pick. You need to pick. want to hit me, you know, I guess I should be able to defend myself, right? You want to tell me that you want to kill me or that you should kill me? I guess that's how you feel, right? But I'm the one that needs a psychiatric unit. You tell me you want to kill me or disable burying me and stuff like that. I'm the one that needs a psychiatric unit. A little fucked up. It's a part of knowing when you're going from one to the other, when you're walking in the physical world, and then you step into the spirit world because it's more into physical world that causes world, that creates harm. But it's finding that balance between the physical world and the spirit world and becoming the embodiment. As long as you're all freaking saying I'm woke, I don't care if you're woke. It's time to fucking wake up. Max has no say he's watching the show. Are you enjoying your own show? Because I know it's my spirit fighting his spirit. But in many ways, that's that part of you fighting yourself. Because I know he's that masculine. He's a part of that masculine side of me that's great too. See, it's feminine side because he's the one that calls people you're a feminist. Guess what? You're fucking right, I am. Hey, she was teaching his. She was teaching his stuff. She just told. She just seen things from a different angle too, because she had to defend herself all the time. To the ones that didn't like the fact that it wasn't about relationship. It was about the understanding. She understood. There's things that you don't like what I say, but it's okay. Because there may be things that I don't like what you say, but I still look you know, at your side. You just don't see it because you're too busy throwing shit out. That's what it is. I just brought to people that these banks that you go to, they're not even registered with they're not accredited through the Better Business Bureau. So accredited, I believe it was that recognized. Let me see this again. Set up to breathe. Yeah. Yeah. Bear with me. I can't go on my phone so you can hear it, so I have to go up here. Fuck off. No, you guys. Credited meeting. Credited. A person, organization, or course of study officially recognized or authorized. So they're not officially recognized or authorized. You know, it's a part of, I feel it. You want to choke me, but you affect what's being seen. You block. So, obviously, if you're blocking it, you are in violation of criminal code. Right? See, read that again. Freedom of thought, belief, opinion, and expression, including freedom of the press and other media of communication. My voice is my communication, and you're trying to cut me off. Don't like it? So you are. You're actually, and now that I said that about it being a 4-4 timer, about it being a violation of the criminal code, it started moving again. Coincidence? No. It's not the people trying to censor each other. It's the system trying to censor the people so that the people can't collaborate and come to an understanding themselves. They don't want you healing because healing is not possible. They'll get up on their podium and they'll say about the day of truth and reconciliation, but they're fucking seriously. Because if they really meant what they were saying, there would have been truth and reconciliation already. Because the real truth and reconciliation is going to be, it's going to come from the people talking with one another and seeing the truth for what it is. And telling that medium, that middleman to go fuck itself. Because it's not doing what it's there to do. Because a real mediator, a real negotiator will sit with everybody in here and hear and work with people. But that's not what's happening. So people that want to talk about stuff and say that it was okay to give those to take people freeze people's bank accounts and take people's jobs from them because they didn't get a needle. Or anything that violates people's rights and freedoms. You are part of the problem, not the solution, but it's because you are being played. Because when you look stuff up, they will give you the same stuff. But I don't ask spirit for the same stuff. I look at both sides. Spirit brings me both sides of everything. Because, like I said, Trudeau, you got some good points. And Pierre Poilievre, or however you pronounce his last name, has good points. But it's that part of far left, far right, and it's how they're doing it for a reason. Because as long as they keep doing that, they're keeping everyone separated, like I said, from being from seeing the real criminal act. And that's that, yes, your own government is violating your rights and freedoms in the criminal code. But I know people that work for the government. People that'll say, "Oh, I want to work for the government." I don't want to work for the government. I want to work. When talking to people and actually hearing what the people really want, because everybody's saying they want the same thing. The government puts up the conspiracy theories. Your systems. See, the thing is anything a conspiracy theory or is it someone's theory of how they're looking at it? And if somebody says that there's something going on, well, who's the first to say that it's a conspiracy theory? It's just right? The ones that don't get paid by the system that like really put time into looking into things and doing their own work. You don't have to have a university degree. They don't want to teach you certain things in school because, what was it? There was a thing that it was said that the gods didn't want to teach, that the gods taught people, but they wanted to destroy the people because they didn't want the people catching on to them. Say about the giants. Well, how do you know that it wasn't the people that made the first move on the Giants, so the Giants retaliated. That's another theory, right? That's what people want to always tell a story. That, doesn't want to create them, right? Because if you look at the different buildings and the big fucking doors, who got the buildings now? You like, you look and it said that certain gods were so tall, like giants, and you don't believe that they put the pyramids together and did all this stuff. That they were here before you. You don't want to believe that. Well, I feel that on my head. Look, but like a pimple, hey people. This is a spirit to spirit, and those spirits know who I'm talking to. That's why my channel is spirit to spirit. It's not person to person, spirit to spirit, heart to heart, mind to mind. But I don't also with my heart. My mind will see and create, but it's my heart that does the navigating. So if you don't believe me with regards to the banking system or the Better Business Bureau, I'll look it up. I did CIBC, I did TD, I did Bank of Montreal, I did Scotiabank, I did Money Mart, I did McDonald's, and all of them were not accredited with the Better Business Bureau. I did the winners, and it was. So you take what you will through this, you throw shit at me, you look at me like I'm delusional and go start shit on my name and what have you, that's fine. If it helps you get through every day. It says the right code and I'm not violating the code. 244 on the timer, but the ones that are running the systems, they're violating it all the time. Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is a path and leave it. That's referring to a wing. So with that being said, I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings, most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone wanting, willing to receive. Control to be big, bold, brave. Most importantly, be yourself. Be authentic. Be who you are, not who somebody says you are or you have to be. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. And know that you have more strength than you can comprehend at times. Sending you all love. You all have a great evening. And use your own discernment. Feel your Be awake, not woke. And when you feel like you're going to give up, don't, because that's what they want you to give up. Gitu por aqui sueta. Yeah. Someone just said, stop talking. Leave my room. Yes, somebody on that was my ex-husband. Or the spirit of him.